Hello everybody, how are you today? As I've promised earlier, today is the day that I teach you some of the most common job interview question tricks. So basically, people ask me on a daily basis if they should act naturally before a job interview or if they should prepare themselves, if they should say or try to guess what the interviewer wants to hear from you. And my piece of advice to all of you, just be yourself, alright? Obviously, you should try to learn as much as possible about the company you're applying for. But be yourself. That's the key when you're going for a job interview. So we're going to analyze 4 key job interview questions and a few ways of answering to all of them, okay? So, the greatest question of all, tell me a little about yourself. Obviously, they're not asking you something that's already on your resume. They want to know more. They want to know, like, why you took certain jobs in your life. Explain why you left, and explain why you chose a certain school when you studied. Maybe you should share why you decided to go to grad school or not. Discuss why you took a year off to backpack through Europe or America. And what you got out of the experience. That's the most important piece of information. And when you answer this question, please connect the dots on your resume so the interviewer understands not just what you've done, but also why you have done that. Alright? Question number 2. What are your biggest weaknesses? So, that's really tricky, but just pick a theoretical weakness and magically transform that flaw into a strength in disguise. For example, I can say that my biggest weakness is getting so absorbed in my work that I lose all track of time. So every day I look up and realize everyone's gone home. So in other words, I know I should be more aware of the clock, but when I love what I'm doing and I just can't think of anything else, that's what happens. So I work overtime. Usually companies, they don't like their employees working overtime because that means extra cost, alright? So, your biggest weakness is that you will put in more hours than everyone else? Great, it's not too bad, is it? Or even a better approach is to choose a natural weakness, but one you're working to improve. Alright? Something not too bad, like you can share what you're doing to overcome that weakness. You know, no one is perfect, but showing you're willing to honestly self-assess and then seek ways to improve comes pretty darn close. Alright? So, the third question of the day. What are your biggest strengths? Try to be humble here, please. Do not be too arrogant, snooty, snobbish. Don't talk too much. But be clear and precise. Like, if you are a great problem solver, don't just say that. Provide a few examples pertinent to the opening that prove you're a great problem solver. And if you are an emotionally intelligent leader, don't just say that. Provide a few examples that prove you know how to answer the unasked questions. In short, don't just claim to have certain attributes. Prove you have those attributes, please. Prove somehow, giving some examples, illustrate that, alright? So when I worked for the Royal Caribbean Company, they asked me for 2 hours what would be my attitude towards certain things. Like, hey Rodrigo, what would you do if a customer was smoking in a forbidden place? And those kinds of questions, they were tricky because there isn't just one proper answer. I should just be honest and tell them what's appropriate, what's fitting for that, alright? And question number 4, where do you see yourself in 5 years? That's a classic question. So I'd say to you that should you answer this question like one of 2 basic ways. Candidates try to show their incredible ambition, because that's what they think you want, you know, by providing an extremely optimistic answer, like, I want your job, even though they're starting as junior analysts. Or they try to show their humility, because that's what they think you want. In this way, by providing a meek, self-deprecating answer like, there are so many talented people here, I just want to do a great job and see where my talents take me. No? In either case, you'll learn nothing, other than possibly how well candidates can sell themselves. So, for interviewers, here's a better question, like, what business would you love to start? But that's not always what happens. They are going to ask you something different, you know? So those questions apply to any organizations, because every employee at every company should have an entrepreneurial mindset. But you know, like, the reality in Brazil is different from the reality in Europe and other developed countries. So just be yourself. Again, I think that's the best tip. Just be yourself, be honest, be down to earth, realistic, okay? And the last question, out of all the other candidates, why should we hire you? That's so difficult. Like, you look outside and you see 50 other candidates. They have 1 vacancy, so why you? In this case, I think you should think through the critical skills needed for this specific role, and then you go through your strengths to determine why you are an ideal fit. Think of your strengths, you know? Like, the best way to frame your answer is to use the same formula as a persuasive essay. For example, you come up with your thesis, which is your opinion. You can have 2 or 3 supporting arguments and a concluding statement, right? Be sure to have real-life examples on hand and support them with as much data as you can. Did you lead a newsletter campaign that resulted in $1 million in sales? Probably not. Did you find a growth hack that drove more conversions to your company's website? Let your interviewer know all about it, and they want concrete examples of your impact. So if the only thing you're capable of doing was being a great team player, let them know that you are a great team player. If your ethics are impeccable, let them know you have great ethics, you are loyal. So your loyalty and reliability would be your strengths, you know? So again, be as natural as possible, and I really, really hope you get a fantastic job with those tips. Get to know the company well, their partnerships, you know, the business they're running at the moment, who is in charge of it. If there is a merger involved, if they're going bust, if they are in Chapter 11 moment, you need to know what's going on with the company you're applying for, alright? So again, thank you so much for watching this class. And I hope to see you next class for TOEFL, Cambridge, and IELTS preparation exam courses, okay? So thank you for watching. Have a great afternoon. See you. Bye-bye.